Well, hello and welcome back to the old photography channel. I got to come up with a really good name for this channel. I just keep calling it my photography channel. Teacher Kenny, Kenny's photography, whatever. What the hell? I thought today we'd talk about something. I started this portrait series. We got some more videos we're going to do with it. But I've been wanting to make a video. In the photography world, there are lots of misunderstandings about things, or the reason why people buy certain lenses, and what they do with them, how they use them. Despite people like me that have been shooting cameras for a long time, what we tell you, there's this trend out there about shooting way too soft. There's this trend about this obsession with bokeh and 1.8, 1.4, and 1.2 lenses and all this kind of stuff. And there's really very little difference. I'm going to tell you right now, in the real world, there is very, very little difference. And you're never going to have a customer that can tell the difference between 1.8 and 1.4 to begin with. But this trend, and I've talked about it a little bit before, it's really bad and it's not good for photography as a whole. But going back to the story of this little video, we are obsessed, totally obsessed about finding the absolute sharpest lens out there. We want the sharpest lens. It doesn't matter if it's a 35 millimeter, a 70 to 200, 85, or like this Sigma I'm holding here. This is a 17 to 50 that I use a lot, and it's a pretty good lens, especially when you're up there f4 and stuff, because then you're pretty sharp. And also, there's another deal too. The human eye can only see sharp to a certain degree, and after that, it doesn't really matter. And you can listen to all this crap on Facebook. The best thing you can do is not pay too much attention to what's going on Facebook. And I've said this before too. Most of those people are beginners, just like you watching this video, and there's just too much opinion. Nobody's ever really done a lot of this in the real world. But anyhow, we are obsessed with finding the sharpest lens humanly possible. And we get this lens, and it's usually your portrait photographers. This is where this comes from, not really landscape people. Landscape people are going to shoot sharp irregardless. But you portrait photographers, just like me, we buy this super sharp lens. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be the 85 millimeter Nikon or this Sigma. But we buy it, we shop, investigate. We buy the lens we think is the sharpest. We watch all the YouTube videos there are out there trying to find the sharpest lens. You buy it and you go shoot it at 1.8 or 2.8 or 1.4 or whatever it is. You shoot it on the softest settings. You do all this research to shoot sharp, then you shoot it on the softest settings, and you're wondering why in the hell your pictures are not looking as good as you thought they would. Hey, wide open lets a lot of light in, but you got to be really careful, and you really got to watch shutter speed and stuff like that, because those lenses are soft. I mean, it's designed on purpose. It's not your fault. You didn't buy a bad lens. It's not Nikon or Canon's or Sony's fault. Wide open is wide open. You got the super shallow depth of field, and you got to be careful, or you're gonna get fuzzy photos. It's kind of like an oxymoron, guys. When you're shooting wide open, like I say, it doesn't matter a brand or whatever. You really got to watch things like shutter speed, and you got to pay attention to where you are from your subject, or you're going to get blurred. You get fuzzy eyes or fuzzy ears or a fuzzy nose. When you're shooting 1.8, 1.4, you get about this right here that's probably going to be in focus, and you can even have the tip of the nose starting to go out of focus, even though you got the eye. You're shooting too shallow. My belief, and this is real world belief, guys. I'm not just trying to, you can watch, Matt Granger's got videos on this, and a lot of other people do too. If I'm shooting a portrait, especially indoors, you know, or whatever, where everything's, I really got it zoomed and clicked in or whatever. Outdoors, sometimes you got to mess around a little bit. But irregardless, you need to make the subject look real. First of all, you need to make damn sure those eyes are crystal clear. If you're not getting a good eye, you're taking a bad picture. Because nothing alive looks alive if it's not in focus. If you're wasting all your time in post-processing, trying to correct things like this, or even trying to put, you know, there's those programs that you try to put even more bokeh in. You know, man, you need to get real and just shoot a good, nice, clean photo and forget about overexposing or radically underexposing or whatever. I usually on a photo shoot, doesn't matter what lens it is, how famous or not famous it is, I'm going to start out usually with one person. I'm going to shoot f4 and 1/160th of a second is my starting spot. And I never shoot wide open unless it's on a 2.8 lens like my 70 to 200. I have a Sigma 70 to 200 that is a beautiful camera, a beautiful lens, and at 2.8 it's nice. And at 2.8 I can go all the way back here in the ears and stuff, and I can have a good focus. Then at f4 I can get everything in focus, no problems. All right. Some people shoot wide open because the skin already looks soft when you shoot at 1.8 or 1.4 or whatever. So maybe there's less to do when you go to edit. Yeah, maybe, but it doesn't take but a second. When you go to post-processing, you can take a perfectly good, sharp picture. Here we go. We're back on sharp now because we're up in this F4 conversation. Take a good, sharp picture of your subject. Then with that same editing software you got, if he or she needs to get a wrinkle out of the skin or take some shine off, you can do that in just a second and fix that skin. But the advantage of it is that me or you did not start with an out of focus picture or a picture that was too soft. I had the picture there, and I just need to do a little correction. It's so easy, but we are so obsessed about doing this, and believe me guys, there is not a gigantic difference. 2.8, 1.8, outside of letting the light in, your customer is never going to really notice the difference in bokeh. It's just not that radical of a difference. You know, shoot a really good shot, go edit that sucker, make sure everything looks right, and give it to your customer. Okay? You know, there's no reason to shoot all these super soft shots. Now, every once in a while, there may be an artistic reason to do this. I'm not telling you don't do it. I'm just telling you, you know, photography is all about money, for one thing, if you're a professional, and you got to deliver. And I want to make sure that when I shoot my customers' photos, that they are crisp, clean, clear photos that look real. Then I'll doctor them up. If I want to brighten the eyes or the lips or whatever, it doesn't take but just a minute. But again, I started off with a good photo. Understand? So take these words to heart and practice this. It's nothing but a deal. But don't kill your photography with overdoing that. And don't do it every shot. Now, there's another deal, too. You can take those 1.8, 2.8 portraits, you know, in close, the classic, you know, bokeh stuff. But don't do every shot wide open like that. Change it up. You have an environment behind you also. If you're outside, you have an environment. Why go outside if you're not going to use a little bit of that environment? So jumping up to an F4, getting that good sharp picture, you still have a background, a nice background blur, but the people see the environment. You're telling a story then. So anyhow, food for thought, guys. Why are you buying these sharp lenses if you're not using the sharp part? Know what I mean? So have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you really soon. So bye-bye.